the legal authority to do that. So I'd ask you to knock it off. Cease and desist and work with this body to pass a law if you want to regulate something. You know, frankly, your time as chairman has highlighted two problems, a Gary Gensler problem and a structural flaw in the SEC. And as I told you in April, I proposed a solution called the SEC Stabilization Act. You're making the case for this bill easier every day you are acting as the chairman by doing rulemaking after rulemaking without any regard to the impact of these rules, or maybe that's the feature for you, I don't know. But it's having a massive impact on our market.
Your view on Bitcoin, you've made comments on this. You believe Bitcoin is not a security. Is that true?
Well, I think the staff of the SEC have also, and the prior chair.
I'm just asking you this question, and this is not a gotcha. I thought there's going to be an easy softball into harder questions.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
All right, as you can see, Gary Gensler did not have a good time with the U.S. Congress because they really put him in the hot seat and questioned him endlessly, and kudos to the U.S. Congress. And, you know, I could not be more happy with the way they treated us. And this shows, forget about the SEC at this point, where cryptocurrency really stands, where the regulations really stand for crypto. And now the ETF entire spotlight changes. We have some breaking news right now that I'm going to go into. Of course, you can see U.S. Congressman tells SEC Chair Gary Gensler his bill would fire him and restructure the SEC. They are saying the SEC is corrupt, and it says, I wish that Biden administrations would say you're fired. Congress hopefully will. So you can see this right now. This is huge. It says a federal judge last month severely undermined the U.S. Security Exchange Commission's decision to reject converting the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust into a more alluring exchange-traded fund. The decision has more analysts now pricing in approval of a spot Bitcoin ETF sooner rather than later. Analysts at Bloomberg put the odds of approval this year at 75% chance of that happening. This is massive, massive news, guys. This really changes the entire outlook on the Bitcoin ETF. And a lot of analysts are projecting that before even the year of 2023, the year of Bitcoin happening, that we will see a Bitcoin ETF being approved, which is great to see. So right now, what we're seeing is tremendous amount of bullish momentum coming in for the crypto space, guys, even though the prices are not really reflecting that. If we're looking across the market, you guys might be saying crypto ZX, things are not looking good, but pay attention to Bitcoin Cash, up 7.1%. So could we be having a Bitcoin Cash ETF that could be in play? You know, we've been talking about how Bitcoin Cash is really outperforming majority of the markets, especially when the ETF news originally came out. We saw Bitcoin Cash really take off. And the reason as to why, again, in my personal opinion, I thought that was the case is because these investors, these hedge funds, they're looking at Bitcoin Cash as, the second Bitcoin because, of course, the fork, and they're saying, hey, you know what? It would be easily marketable because it has a correlation with BTC, and that's why we're seeing a lot of interest. So I'm not sure if there's a correlation between what I've just said, but we will see what happens. But nonetheless, there is something going behind the scenes, in my opinion, because, of course, we're seeing Bitcoin Cash up 7.1% in today's time frame, while majority of the market is still pretty much seeing a little bit of minor red. But now moving forward to another massive news, James Seifert came out and said, looking like the SEC is going to let a bunch of Ethereum future ETFs go next week, potentially. So basically, this is the original tweet. It says, update hearing from the SEC wants to accelerate the launch of Ether futures ETFs because they want it off their plate before shutdown. So they've asked the filers to update their docs by Friday p.m. No small task to jam into 48 hours, especially for indie issuers. So they can go off Monday and trade Tuesday. This is huge, guys. If Ethereum sees its own ETF, this will honestly change the game, change the entire outlook on Ethereum, which already, in my opinion, it has done so, because now Ethereum is looked at not a place to be developing a project. It's more seen as a store of value, and we're not talking just retail. We're seeing it being treated as a store of value from the big hedge funds, massive institutional interest. And of course, a previous bull cycles, there was a massive demand for ETH. A lot of institutional clients were coming in to these massive hedge funds and saying, hey, you know what? We need to have Ethereum. How do we get this Ethereum? How do we get Bitcoin? And I think they're really preparing to get not just Bitcoin ETF done this time around, but other altcoins as well. So that is quite interesting to see. So there's a lot of positive news coming around us. We did see Michael Saylor also announced just 2 days back that his company MicroStrategy has bought 5,445 more Bitcoins. So, a lot of positive news coming right now, but we're still not seeing BTC move. But I think Q3, as we do go into it, is going to be a really good quarter for the entire space, and could potentially see something, really nice happen before the year of 2023 even comes to an end. So we will see what happens, but nonetheless, guys, the bullish momentum is literally right in front of us right now. We're seeing SEC getting slammed by the Congress. The outlook from the overall outside of the SEC, people are willing to accept crypto. People are bullish on crypto. People see that this is another asset class. People can come out and make a statement, oh, there's a lot of fraud that happens in crypto. So what about money laundering that happens with the banking system? That's the biggest massive, red flag. There's huge amounts of money that gets manipulated, even in the stock market, even in the traditional banking system. So these are some things that, traditional people won't really accept, because they're going to come and say, oh, you can't trace Bitcoin transfers and stuff. So there's obviously pros and cons to everything. If we're looking at technology side, if we're looking at an asset class, it is being taken quite seriously, and we're seeing this right in front of us. So this is really interesting. A lot of people are accumulating right now. People are saying that this might be the last time to be accumulating while things are cheap, before we do see Bitcoin pop off, because Bitcoin right now has not retested the September 10th prices, which were around 25,000. We're still hanging around above this 26,000 range. So there could potentially be something behind the scenes that we're not aware of as of now. But this is where I want to hear from you guys, your personal thoughts. Are you guys thinking that, the bull run is about to officially start? Do you have some other take on this? I want to know from you guys. And also let me know what you guys are doing right now in terms of accumulating. Have you guys already done so? And where could you see the year of 2023 ending off at as far as Bitcoin price is concerned, and of course ETF approval? So let me know down below in the comment section. But with that said, we'll see you tomorrow in crypto.